Hey guys, how's it going? This is Natinator, and welcome to another Creepypasta reading. This is a short one called The Fallen Angels. Now as always, turn out the lights, get comfortable, and let the story begin. I'm writing this because I'm interested in these strange creatures. I want to know more about their appearance, origins, and behavior. This is what I've gathered so far. Little is known about the mysterious creatures that seem to haunt dark, abandoned areas of the world, also known as the False Prophets and Demonio Pesadilla in Mexico. Accounts of these creatures following people have existed as far back as the 1970s. Although sightings have been all over the world, the description has been strangely consistent. A small humanoid creature with a large head and a skull-like face. They are referred to as angels, primarily due to large black wings that apparently adorn their backs, although it is not known if they can fly or not. Although there are very few accounts of human interaction, we can conclude that these things are probably hostile and extremely dangerous. The following account was given in 2001 by a patient who cannot be named for legal reasons, but is known to be the boy who survived an encounter with one of the creatures. The only pictures that exist of what he referred to as the fallen angels are drawings he made after the incident. The patient has since committed suicide following a recurrence of the bad dreams that plagued him as a young man. He recounts the event, which occurred in England in 1971, when the patient was a teenager. Him and his friend decided to investigate an abandoned bunker in the woods outside their village. The site had been left derelict for over 10 years, and the hinges on the door had rusted away, allowing the teenagers to enter. The next corridor led to rooms with beds for employees and meeting rooms. Most of the paperwork had been ruined by water damage from leaking pipes above, but the two boys could make out the FBI logo on the front of some of the files. Some of the files contained information referring to top-secret biological weapons that they were testing in the bunker. These included experiments involving unwary participants being given LSD and locked away to see the effects. There was also reference to Project MK Ultra, which has since been uncovered by the government. It seems to suggest that this was a British sector of MK Ultra that seemed to have gone undiscovered until these two boys happened upon it. The teenagers decided to continue down the corridor, and then down some spiral stairs to another long corridor. After some time, they came to an area which looked suspiciously like a prison. Then they saw why the bunker had been abandoned. Claw marks could be seen on the walls and ceiling of some of the cell doors that had been torn open by something. As the two boys walked along the corridor, they saw graffiti on the walls. They were in a different language, but have since been translated to pleas for help. Whatever was down there had been sending the scientists mad before it broke out. The boys turned a corner to find a large control room. They entered and found it looked into a big room with no form of lighting inside. The room had since been flooded, and glass lay all over the room, indicating that whatever was there had broken out. The patient's friend opened a file which sat on a table. It explained as Subject 16, which had appeared during an experiment which involved a participant being locked in a room with a loud sonic resonator. As the screams of the patient got louder, The sound being played in the room also got louder. The file stated that all of a sudden, the room went silent. The scientists opened the door, and the patient was no longer there. They were about to leave when they heard a strange, screeching noise, and one of the scientists got dragged backwards by an unseen entity. The door was locked, but the scientist's screams could be heard for hours after. Another book lay on the table. It was a journal by a man named John Harrington, who was the head researcher of Subject 16. Here are some excerpts. February 11th, 1960. Observation on Subject 16 remains the same. We have to keep the lights off, or else they cannot be seen. Even night vision causes them to become blurry, and they do not seem to give off any obvious heat signal. They rarely touch the floor, and remain still, holding onto the wall, with their heads turned facing us. I wish they would stop looking at us. February 23rd, 1960. We had to lock Yuri away today. The poor man had been shouting for days about demons and hell. It got too far when he started writing things on the wall. Everyone is scared here, so having him locked away is for the best. Still no word from the America. Subject 16 remains the same. March 4th, 1960. I, like most of us, have been suffering from bad dreams. They've all been similar. I'm in a dark corridor, running away from something. I can hear it behind me, clawing its way towards me. I wake up before it gets me. I talk to the guys. They've had similar dreams. Subject 16 remains as ever, the same. We hardly go in there anymore. Something is just wrong about them, like they're not from this world. March 8th. These aren't angels. They're the devil. Incoherent. Stop laughing at me. This is our fault. All our fault. One just moved. That was the end of the diary. The boys, clearly frightened by now, decided to leave. However, they now felt like they were being watched by something. As they walked out, the lights began to flicker, and they started running. They suddenly heard a horrible screeching noise, but couldn't see anything behind them. As they got to the entrance, the light went out. One boy got grabbed and pulled back. The other turned around and looked into the darkness. What he saw dragging his friend away he would remember forever. The pictures in this article had been taken by the police when searching for the missing boy, who has never been found. In addition, sightings of the so-called fallen angels have cropped up in parts of America, reportedly where human experiments have also been performed. This drawing was done by a hunter who saw the back of one in the forest near an abandoned lodge. Since then, sightings have been reported as far as Germany and Mexico, but only one eyewitness accounts and drawings have been given as evidence. Whatever the angels are, they cannot be seen under any form of light, and seem to dwell in places that have been left abandoned or derelict. If anyone has any information regarding the fallen angels, it would be most valuable in uncovering the truth.
This is how I roll. This is how I roll.